Hey Todd, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, and then we'll put you back in your address position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, posture looks pretty good. We've got your spine, lower spine anyways, in a relatively straight position on a nice tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down maybe a little bit too closely into you, and then the club works out to the ball. So you may want to just sort of let your arms hang out just a little further away, then let the golf club work out to the ball. And that would also position just a little bit further away from the ball. Right now you look a little jammed or a little too close to the golf ball, which we may see here as we're coming into impact, and the fact that we're probably going to see you pull away out of the shot, almost like a baseball batter who gets jammed by inside pitch. At this point in time, go ahead and take a look at your alignment. See your feet aiming out in this direction. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So with that scenario, we can see you're sort of set up down towards the right rough there. So you may be accustomed to seeing your ball create some form of a little bit of fading action when it typically finds the target, and that may be why you're sort of setting up like that. And again, we'll see this in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. Now we'll flip Spieth over to left-handed. I'm not sure why those lines stayed on the screen from the previous swing analysis, but anyways. Let's go ahead and take a look at the backswing. We can see here as Jordan draws the golf club back, he creates good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we're going to see the club coming back directly along the red line, so directly on plane. At this point in time, we're going to establish some good wrist hinge into play where we're transitioning the club head from below to above our hands, and then we're going to work the club from red up to yellow or blue. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, in Jordan's case, he gets his right arm and the club situated on the blue line. Anything within that blue-yellow V zone or on yellow is absolutely fine. We want full shoulder rotation, and we do this about a very stable left leg. As you go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here, you draw your hands back, turning your shoulders. The club sneaks underneath the swing plane just a little. Just means the club head and the club shaft have moved a little to the right of the red line. Not that big of an issue. If we create some wrist hinge in here, club will recover. You do. Looks great. And as we work this golf club to the top, let's see where you take it. When you finally set the golf club at the top of the backswing, you set yourself obviously a little bit shallow. Just means your right arm's underneath the yellow line. We've got good shoulder rotation, stable left side. I love your arm geometry relative to your core. It may be a little bit jammed to you, just meaning your inner left tricep is a little close to your rib cage, and that's causing your right arm to fold a little bit. But the geometry looks good. The club's in good position relative to your arms. We would like to see this just a little bit more upright, so your right arm's a little closer to the yellow line. That would put your right arm and the club right on that yellow line, like we see with Jordan. His right arm and club are right on the blue line, so that would be ideal. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right foot. Fire the knees and the hips to the target, unwind the core, and fire the hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure the golf club's moving from that blue-yellow V zone back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned right back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the club. Refer to this as the check mark position. Simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, aside from the fact that he's going to hit it straight due to the fact that the club, again, as duly noted, already returned back to plane. If we go ahead and take a look at your transition back into the ball, your hands come over the top a little, and that's going to have a little bit of an impact on your club moving a little bit over the top. So at this point in time, what we can see is we can take a look at your lead forearm and your club and basically say, hey, you know what, we've got the backwards check mark, so creating some power in the golf swing won't be an issue. The only problem is the club is not returning back to plane, and more than that, the club shaft at this stage of the golf swing, it's too steep because of that over the top move. So your club shaft is sitting here at about 53 degrees when the shaft angle should be back over here maybe at about 38, and then that would mirror image the same angle as what we see with Jordan Spieth here. So you made your over-the-top move. It's causing the club to come in a little bit steep, causing the club head not to return back to plane. That club head is now going to stay out in front of you. So if we continue to track the club head coming into the golf ball, we can see that the club is falling out in front for sure, and that's going to influence the swing path. So we just sort of connect the dots. You can get a good visual as to what that descending plane was. We can see that the club never returned back to the red line. Therefore, the club is going to be attacking, like I said, from out to in. With Jordan Spieth, the club is tracking into the ball directly from this red line, and ultimately this is what allows us again to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment, as long as the club face squares up via having a good grip. At this point in time, we can go ahead and take a look at the pass of the club. We can see with Jordan Spieth, the club is inside the ball. It expands out and makes contact, moves through on a nice, natural, subtle arc. Your club is too much behind the ball or stuck on the outside. Now watch where it goes on the way through. It goes straight across. So it's moving on that path. If the club face happens to square up to that swing path, what will happen is we will pull the ball in that direction. If we over-release the club, not only will we pull it, but we'll hit a low pull hook or pull draw. It'll go too far right. If we under-release the club a little bit, we can sort of block the ball a little left of that, and then we'll be able to sort of maybe hit a slight fade back on line, nothing that's going to hurt us. If we leave the club face too open, the ball starts even a little further left of that. The club face was too open, and now we're getting a little bit more of a block slice, and we'll lose the golf ball left. Very simply put, when we're swinging the golf club from outside, hitting the ball, and moving it to the inside, the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. If we over-release it, it's going to follow yellow. Under-release it, it's going to follow blue. And if we time it properly, it'll follow red. We also just want to look at the footwork. We can see at impact, Jordan's left heel's off the ground. Watch the continued activity of that left heel up on the toe of the left foot. We can count all the spikes in the shoe. It gets all his weight to his right side. Allows his hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, hands are high, clubs back in behind him. Your left heel looks like it's coming off the ground a little bit there. Let's see the rest of the footwork through to the finish. And excellent job. So you get up on your toe, you're moving through, you move yourself through to a really good finishing position. Looks really, really good. Overall, there's some nice athletic qualities with respect to your swing. Your hands work really, really well. You bring them back, you fire them through. You've got good coil. You coil back, you uncoil through. You've got great footwork, allowing you to get through to a good finish. Your alignment is a little bit to the right. But the biggest issue is you bring the club back very, very nicely. You do set yourself a little shallow, not that big of a deal. But the biggest issue is you attack this golf ball from over the top right now, send the club to the outside, you're swinging from out to in, and now the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. It looked like in this particular swing, you squared the face up or released it too much, you're going to lose that ball to the right. On occasion, when you leave it open, you'll hit it perfect, hit a little fade right on line. Leave it too open, you're going to lose it too far left. So you will find those right to left tendencies based on what you're doing with your hands through the impact zone right here, and you will see that for sure on the golf course. Okay? Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, certainly feel free to contact me. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, touch base and be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyways, take care, have a great day, and again, hope you enjoyed an opportunity to see your swing on video.